becoming an entrepreneur can be tough. There are going to be so many obstacles each and every single day. If you don't have that drive and motivation to push you through that, to absolutely give up without continuously trying and solving that problem.
Komal, would you say that you're ambitious?
Yes, absolutely.
If somebody is looking at starting a small business, what are the key things involved in order to do that?
The first and foremost, I would say figuring out a product that you're passionate about. And if you're not as passionate about something initially, and try to solve that problem by creating a product. There will always be some way out of that little puddle that you're in. Waking up to this mantra every single day, knowing that this positivity around me is enough for me to move forward. You don't need to climb a ladder in 2 days, You can only understand why I am who I am today, maybe. How we are with other people. The kindness that needs to be shown, that nothing comes easy.
On the choice she makes of a life partner.
In fact, we met on Tinder. It's a dating app.
What would be a good partner for you, or what was important for you?
Should be very loving. For my partner to be able to put in hard work no matter what we're doing, because we don't know what curveball life is going to throw at us, right? We may fail to get up, to restart, and to keep it going. I really feel like as long as that partnership is intact and you're there for each other, you can get through anything.
In this episode of the Creativity Dialogues, we sit down with Komal Soneji, stamp designer, entrepreneur, and a living example of how passion can be patiently shaped into a sustainable creative business. Komal's journey begins not with scale or strategy, but with a deep love for craft and an intuitive pull toward creating something meaningful with her own hands. She has emphatically discussed the importance of family relationships and how they contributed to her success. What makes this conversation really rich is the way Komal opens up about her inner motivations, the moments of uncertainty, the decisions taken without guarantees, and the steady commitment it takes to build something from the ground up. She speaks candidly about creativity not as a romantic ideal, but as a daily practice of choice, discipline, and belief. Beyond sharing her story, Komal offers something rare and immensely valuable. A clear, practical blueprint of her entrepreneurial journey. She breaks down the process step by step, how to begin small, how to test ideas, how to stay aligned with one's own values, and how to grow without losing the soul of the work. For anyone dreaming of starting a small business, especially creatives, navigating the tensions between art and livelihood, this episode becomes both a guide and a reassurance. This is a conversation about agency, courage, and building a creative life that is both personal and viable. Whether you are at the idea stage or already on your path, Komal Soneji's insights offer clarity, confidence, and a gentle reminder that meaningful enterprises are built one intentional step at a time. Enjoy the Creativity Dialogues with Komal Soneji. I'm going to give her a chance to introduce herself. Komal, could you do the honors?
Of course. I think instead of introducing myself directly with words, I have a little gift for you that could give the audience an idea.
A gift for me?
Of course, yes.
Wow.
This is for you.
Thank you, Sona. Oh, I just loved it. It has a name and everything is just so pretty in this.
Absolutely
Wow.
personalized for you.
Oh my gosh. What is this? Komal, can you explain to us?
Yeah, this is
a personalized stamp.
for you with your name initials.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful.
I always love to
Wow.
be a part of everyone's gifting rituals, and considering that I make stamps, not just for brands, artists, and entrepreneurs, but also for individuals that love stationery. This felt right.
This is so special. Thank you so
I'm
much
glad you
for
like
this.
it.
So this is my very special gift and a first for me.
Oh,
My
wow.
own specialized stamp. Wow. I'm so excited to use this.
I'm glad you like it.
Thank you so much, Sonal. I mean, stamps. How did this even begin for you? How did you think of stamp making as a profession, as something to do?
During COVID, I had a little bit of a break because Co.Necessity, which is my brand, is my second brand. The first one had to take a pause due to COVID, and I had some time to really research and explore different arts and crafts. And I was introduced to this art called lino cut printmaking, which is a form of hand carved stamps. And you print make with that, and it's a really age old craft. And I thought to myself that with the break that I had, I was making a lot of different gifts for people. I was making scrunchies. I'm overloaded with supplies at home, I would say. So I said, let's make a stamp for myself, because at that point there was no way to, print boxes. There was there was, I would say, all the industries were shut.
Yeah, so many limitations, right?
Exactly. So I thought to myself that, well, we've been introduced to lino cut printmaking. Why not make our own stamp? And as a little, considering Instagram and the platform that we have, I wanted to share with my friends that this is how I made a stamp for myself, and I could print on the box on my own without the need of the printing industry. And that video went absolutely viral. And I realized the impact that it could have on new and budding entrepreneurs just like myself. And I was introduced to stamp making thanks to lino cut printmaking, but I did move on and kind of evolve that idea into making stamps for brands and artists to print their own boxes, while, of course, we were going through the period of COVID. And the first person that asked me, can you make this stamp for me too? I said yes. I recognized that opportunity, I locked on it, and that's how I have been a stamp maker for the past 5 years.
Wow, that's so amazing. And when you decided to, you thought of something quite out of the box, how did you think that this message would actually reach people? Were you aware of the power of social media as you got into this? Was that how, in a planning stage, did you plan that that's how it would go? Or literally, was it spontaneous, one foot ahead of the next and just allowing things to emerge?
I think it did come with a flow. The idea was to take baby steps and see how it goes, because I feel like, as for me as a person and a business owner and a creative person, too much planning can be restrictive. So, and I know this may not work for other people, but that's what worked for me. So I realized that, okay, I recognize this opportunity. A lot of people are interested in me making stamps for them. Let's start with what we have. Let's start with the supplies that we have. I started with one size and one shape of a stamp that works just on paper and boxes. And here I am making so many stamps for different surfaces, for soaps, for ceramic artists and pottery, for wedding invites. So I would say that it was a process that evolved slowly, and a lot of different artists were a part of the process, because for me, I could make stamps, but for a ceramic artist, for example, whether it would work for them or not, it was a hand-in-hand process. And I'm really grateful for the people that I came across in my journey, because it's because of them also that I could explore different materials. So planning, I think, came in the latter half, but exploring and taking it step by step really helped initially, because I was also discovering this art while it came to me as a surprise.
Yeah, and I think that your openness to going into areas, because stamp making is one thing, but just as you said, to go into different materials, which means you'd have to develop an understanding for all these different materials
Yeah.
and learn how to work with them. So there was a lot of readiness to
Yes.
experiment, to take on new challenges, to figure so many things out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a learning curve, I would say, because not every material worked.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of R&D involved. Initially, I did not have the funds to invest in big machines. So I had to figure out, what would work, what will not work, who can help me out. I was lucky enough to also come by vendors that were ready and saw the passion in me, being a young girl who wanted to dive in and really explore a certain material. I feel like their support is also what helped me gain the confidence that I can do this. So yeah, just really grateful for the people that are a part of this process for me also.
So Kumar, would you say that you're ambitious? Has ambition been an important thing for you?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like if you're not ambitious, becoming an entrepreneur can be tough because there are going to be so many obstacles each and every single day that if you don't have that drive and motivation to push you through that, you're going to give up too easily. And it's okay to feel like you're failing, but to absolutely give up without continuously trying and solving that problem, I feel like it would be tough as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So Sonal, I'm very curious about your childhood. That if you can describe your childhood, that what are the moments that you feel really contributed to what you've become today? So, your parents or any other important people in your life or events for that matter, what would you say are these different people and events that contributed?
My family has been the biggest influence for me. We're a very tight knit, close family.
Of how many?
Of four. But that's me, my sister, my parents. But I would also say my grandma had a big influence. So I think I would like to go step by step. The biggest influence is my father. He is a business owner himself, and he set up his own business.
So are you a daddy's girl?
A little bit, yes, but also my mom's. I mean, I don't think I could pick a favorite ever because they both have done so much, and I'm close to both of them in very different ways. From my father's side, because he set up his own business, he's also an avid trekker even at 64 right now. He's done treks that young people have not been able to do, that I don't think even I could.
And so treks in the sense he actually has that stamina to go on long treks by.
Yes, absolutely. He's done expeditions. He joins a lot of different groups, and there's a lot of adventure sports that he was not allowed to do because of his age. And he said, you know what, I'm gonna write to the principal of that school. I'm gonna let them know that let me come for 3 days. You check my endurance, you test me, and then if you say no, I will come back. I will say, okay, I'm not going to move forward in the particular course. But he came out with flying colors in each one of them, and all of the leaders in the course, they realized that my father is such a big inspiration for the other young trekkers that are coming in, that he's the one that lifts their spirits up all the time. And I feel like that is who he is as a person, and that shows with his business.
Has he always been like this?
Yes.
Has he always been like taking care of his physical self?
Yes.
So I think that requires tremendous discipline.
Yes.
Do you feel that that's a quality that you caught on? Because they always say that, show, don't tell. So parents who are not themselves doing something, but they love to advise and say that no, you should do this. But actually kids, I've observed, always follow what has been demonstrated. You can't just tell them things. It's whatever they demonstrate. So it sounds like this quality really built up the discipline aspect in you.
Yeah, in not just in terms of who I am as a person, but who I want to be as a business owner, and the principles I want to form for my business. Because he's also somebody who manages his business alone and has always managed his business alone. Is he also an
entrepreneur?
Yes.
Oh, so you had some sense of of an idea that there's somebody, who in your close thing, because I've realized that a lot of information gets shared by, your close circle in how things are done. Do you think that this also played its part in giving you the courage to be able to think like this at such a young age?
It definitely did, because I would say that he started his business in a very different time in life, right? And how life has progressed and how social media and tech has progressed, there's a lot of changes that have happened now when businesses are online. For them it was completely offline, but something I always have noticed in conversation with him, that the foundation of the business remains the same. We may be online, we may be provided a lot of online tools, which is amazing in today's age, because I can be in my home studio and run my entire business sometimes without having to step out for a week, that wasn't the case with them. So I feel like the sheer determination that he has had to build something of his own, especially when my sister and I have an elder sister. So we're born in Saudi. We moved to Pune for education.
So you were born in Saudi?
Yes. But I was moved to Pune when I was 2 months old. So
so it was just a technical kind of being born.
Yeah, just to be born there.
Just to be born there.
Yeah, but...
have you visited Saudi again after that?
No.
So that's definitely, I'm sure, on your bucket list at some point.
They've just opened up tourism. So it is something that I would like to do. But, for us to see him and my mom together move back home, move countries and restart, and the determination that they've had through that process, and for us to have the happiest childhood, they've raised us in the most independent way, and to also observe that process, even if it was not in conversation, to just observe that, I feel like taught me a lot regarding who I want to be today.
This is so nice to hear, that you were two girls, because even in my family, they're just two of us, me and my sister. And so I always feel really nice when, parents empower daughters, that where the idea is that you're no less than any sons, and when you're raised to really be the best, to develop your potential to the maximum that it can go. I think that that's a blessing in itself, and it's so empowering.
Yeah, absolutely. And the sheer support that I have received even in the first business, especially from my father. So I essentially was a men's accessories designer.
Men's accessories.
Yes.
How does that even happen? Because of your devotion towards dad, that you thought men's accessories?
I think
how does a young girl think of men's accessories?
I'll tell you why. It was a simple way out for me. Setting up my first business, I was in college in third year, and like I said, I kind of always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and that's because of my dad, the way he lives his life, the way they pause and travel and take the advantage to really have the freedom to live life by their terms, work hard when the work is to be done, but also
hard.
Exactly. Know how to relax and
know how to enjoy also.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you just become a machine and you miss out. But I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how men's accessories, was there any background to how you got to this?
Yes, so I've studied fashion designing, and
college?
In college, yes, in my graduation, and I've always been inclined towards men's fashion. It intrigued me, especially vintage men's fashion. With the bow ties and, the grand outfits, I feel like I resonated with it a lot. Structured, tailored suits, that was my thing actually. Wow. So I said, what, we're going to be an entrepreneur. We've studied fashion designing. I don't want to waste time at all after college. I want to see now if I can run a business, even if it's of simple products, small stuff, things that I can do from home. Purely for the fact to see that thoda pocket money mil jayega. But let's try.
Actually, I'm curious that when did this feeling come? Because I'm thinking that there could even be kids who are in school, high school, and who might just be wondering what to do with their lives, or what direction to pick.
Yeah.
So what I'm curious is, where did you have this desire that I'm going to do this, that I want to do this? At what stage did this actually come?
It was in third year of college, so I believe I was 20.
Okay, so by that time that clarity had come.
Yes.
But in college, was it because you were in fashion designing that this was a natural
I think
progression?
so. Yes.
Yeah.
Studying history of fashion is what really immersed me. The professor that we had was excellent, and
So were you doing fashion designing? or-
Yes.
Yeah, that was your
fashion
course.
designing.
It was
Yeah, that
always-
was my course.
Yeah.
And that one module of history of fashion is what led me to really love, menswear in general, but vintage menswear.
Right.
So I said,
right.
you know what, we can't set up a men's suiting brand at the moment. That requires a lot of investment. It requires a setup. It requires an entire team, right? But what I could do was the accessories all by myself because I know how to sew. I have a bunch of fabrics. Why not start? Why not make bow ties for our friends and see if they like it? And I said, okay, I'm going to put a stall at a pop-up event in Pune. And that night I realized, okay, this is something that I could earn from. And that's when I decided, okay, we know we're going to be an entrepreneur. Let's do a testing phase for a year. Before we graduate, I want to know if I'm a viable entrepreneur and if I have it in me to, really succeed.
Yeah.
And if not, we will figure out what to do. But I did not want to waste time at all after graduation.
So you've had this urge to
Yes.
to kind of build, to create.
Yes.
When you started, was there a particular any kind of doubt of that you're entering into a very niche kind of an area?
Yeah.
And that too, it's not something which you're a female and you're thinking of
Yeah.
this, how to reach people, how even to get the message.
Yeah.
As a young girl, did these kind of worries ever come, or were you
Yeah.
so passionate about just doing it that you never?
So I definitely felt like there were a lot of doubt. I would not say doubts, but I did face some hardships because when you're 21 and you're starting a business on your own, and this was in 2016 when, young entrepreneurship was not often seen. It was tough to get vendors to take you seriously, to think that your passion and your efforts are going to be fruitful or not, or, so those thoughts are always something that I felt initially. But yeah, my parents' support is what really got me through because I know that once you're determined to do something, you will have some fruitful result from it or some learning from it. It does not need to be success, but the learning that you take from that is always going to be beneficial in some phase of your life, I feel. So even when I was, making bow ties and pocket squares, we did a lot of pop-ups all over the country, and my parents would wear a bow tie everywhere in that pop-up because they traveled with me for it. They were always ready 3 days of event, morning to evening, late night. They would be there to help me at the stall, to, grab hold of people and bring them and say, my daughter is doing this and I'm so proud of her. And they would wear the bow tie. So whoever they're speaking with, they would see the product already and they would be kind of, inclined to come to the stall. So I feel like that kind of a force to have at home as a support changed everything for me. I think that kick was the push that led me to,
I think you're so fortunate because,
Yeah.
a home in which you have very supportive parents. And sometimes there's support, over support, in which too much is just done and given. So I think from what you're saying, it was the ideal type of support, that it was showing, evidencing discipline, qualities, and then empowering you to know that you're not alone in whatever way they would stand by you.
Yeah.
And I think that that's powerful because sometimes it's been my observation that in the name of loving children, sometimes parents tend to overspoil also.
Yeah.
And that way, what happens is that the kid loses their interest in going through the hardships involved to start something. But because, we shouldn't pretend that it's in any way easy. It's hard. And so that journey, the person you have to take yourself.
Yeah.
But then when you have parents, who support, that just is like a blessing.
Yeah, in fact, my mom's mantra always has been, and it's not like a mantra, but every time I've gone to her with, conversation that this is a problem I'm facing, she would say that nothing is going to come easy. There's always going to be hard work, but every problem can be solved. So don't dwell in it. Move forward. Keep that aside, do something else, and figure out a way to, solve that particular problem, because really nothing can be unsolved. There will always be some way out of that little puddle that you're in. So I feel waking up to this mantra every single day, knowing that this positivity around me is enough for me to move forward, be it step by step. You don't need to climb a ladder in 2 days, that made a huge difference. And in terms of family influence, even my sister, she's 5.5 years older, so I had a lot of I would say current world advice that I could get from her, considering that she's a TED speaker as well. She's a strategic product designer. And
so design is in the family.
Yes, absolutely. So my sister's name is Mileha, and she, in fact, her research was very different. It was product based for Parkinson's patients, and her idea was also to form simple products for Parkinson's patients and how to make everyday life easy.
Yeah,
I feel that
I have for me, Parkinson's is a soft corner because my mom had Parkinson's. So it's something which I feel this appreciation for somebody who is doing work in that area.
Absolutely. I feel like, because in this high-tech world, we often forget simple solutions do exist and can be formed. So, I applied the same thought process to Co Necessity with stamp making also, that this printing industry is so big. Why not have a simple solution? Why not hand stamp? There's a personal effort put into that, which also the receiver is going to really appreciate. So, my sister has been a big influence as well with the design world, design and actual application in the industry. That is something maybe my father could not have, advised about, because he's more a mechanical guy. His creativity comes with not, art related stuff, but building things or like fixing a light. There's no electrician that has come to my house in the last 20 years. Wow. So you can only imagine that fixing things is his joy. So I have these advices in very different forms, like my mom with positivity, dad with business acumen, principle, and my sister with the creative art and design side. You can only understand why I am who I am today, maybe.
So what was the atmosphere in your childhood like? I mean, were your parents strict in terms of, was there discipline, or was it really easygoing, laid back? How would you describe the atmosphere?
It was a mix. There was, I would not say discipline, but there was a strictness in terms of, how we are with other people, the kindness that needs to be shown, that nothing comes easy. We've also seen the struggle that they have had. So I feel like the discipline was in just making sure that you're humble and you're grounded.
Did you need to have very good marks in school?
No, I was very bad at academics. I would say I'm not a maths and science girl at all.
Because there's so many similarities. My parents were the same. Like, I never liked academics. I just could not do it. And my sister was brilliant. She
Absolutely
was
the same.
the same for you too.
Yeah, the same.
Oh my God. My sister would never study. I never knew how she was always in the top 3. Top 3, really, with no studying. I would think bahut nainsafi hai.
Yeah,
Despite studying, it never, I just wasn't interested. So
that happened to me as well.
But I'm so thankful when parents don't make like kind of marks the be all of everything, because each child is different, and marks don't decide anybody's future. They really don't.
Yeah, the discipline was only in terms of, who we are as a person, but there
That's
was
very
complete
interesting.
truth. Yeah.
Who you are as a person.
Yeah.
I'm very
And
curious
how you
to
make
know.
someone else feel. I think that was really important, and I would uh, I would take away everything from that because it's formed who I am today, right? And otherwise, they've always, like I said, they've raised us to be independent women, and they let us explore any avenue they thought we liked, be it sports, be it art, dance. I'm also a Latin American dancer.
Wow.
Yeah, I have been dancing for a very long time. So I went to school, but वो classroom छोड़ के sports, annual day के backdrops बनाओ, सब dances में, you take part in all the extracurriculars. So, and that was very openly accepted. As long as you don't fail, it's okay, But having determination in something and putting that effort in whatever you like was always accepted, was always they've let us explore everything we could. Like you said, my sister was also academically very forward, but she was also with arts and like creativity very forward. So when Didi joined her graduation for design, it was a very new concept of, because tabhi it was all either you become a doctor, you become an engineer. It was more related to academia, right?
Yeah.
And dad has traveled so much. He has met so many people to talk to them and to understand what this field is, what the design field is, because my daughter wants to do this. Let's explore to see how this is viable, because you need to have a scope in the industry in the future to form a career with it, right? And he's put in effort more than Didi, I feel, before her forming years to start her career in design, or like even join college for design. So
I feel your parents have been quite exemplary in terms of really how to nurture children and how to empower them and be there for them.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Yeah, until date, the biggest support.
Yeah.
I say, Papa, I need to get this package out. I have a call. I cannot do this. He said, I'll go and give it. Till date, in one way or another, my parents are involved in the business. I've also dragged my husband into the business now, and we're running it together.
That is what I'm very curious about. That when a strong, independent girl chooses a partner, what does she look for in a partner? Or what were values, or what were you looking for? What were the qualities that you felt my life partner? Because so much of a girl's life is dependent on the choice she makes of a life partner. Because I feel for a male, their life doesn't change quite as much. I mean, my husband will argue it probably changes to a decent amount, but I think for girls, it's really important, because if a few things, if you have not communicated them well, then you're just for like a hit or miss. It just depends on what comes your way. So had you really envisioned what would be a good partner for you, or what was important for you that you needed to keep in mind before you got married or chose?
Again, very simple points for me. Should be very loving, should have the determination. This word determination in my life is everything. So I will probably repeat it so many times in this conversation. But for my partner to be able to put in hard work no matter what we're doing, because we don't know what curveball life is going to throw at us, right? We may fail, things may change. I may be out of a job, he may be out of a job. You don't know, but to get up, to restart, and to keep it going, because I really feel like as long as that partnership is intact and you're there for each other, you can get through anything. And that is something that I saw with my parents, and it's something that I wanted for myself. Everything else is secondary. As long as they're kind, loving, hardworking, and just also maybe, understand the joys in simplicity. That's all I wanted, and that's all I got. I did get that. So I'm really lucky about that.
And when did you get married?
I got married 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was, did you find your partner?
Yes.
Is it? So it's also you've been really in charge of everything
Everything.
yourself.
Absolutely everything. In fact, we met on Tinder. It's a dating app, right?
Yeah.
And we got really lucky because he's not even from Pune. But we
Oh.
matched when he was traveling to Pune. So that's why I say, like, Tinder gods got
Are
us
the ones
lucky.
who got you hooked. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we met in 2019 and we got married 2 years ago.
And did you know pretty soon after meeting him that, yeah, this is like the person for me,
Yeah.
more or less?
Yeah, a few months.
Yeah.
Few months, because I feel like it takes time to get to know
Yeah,
someone
that's
and who they are, how they
Yeah.
are, the kind of way of life they have. And this evolves. I feel like the Nikhil I knew in 2019 versus the Nikhil I know now is very different. But we're evolving together in a very positive way, and I love that for us.
Yeah. So, what's the quality you would say that you like the most? I mean, loving is too general, but what would you say is the quality that you feel about him that is really important to you?
He's a silent caregiver.
Ah,
That's something I'm mesmerized by every day. Uh, you won't notice it very often unless you know him well, but he's always there. He's always there. Be it for me, his family, my family, for friends, for people he doesn't even know, for our clients, he's always there in one way or another. And
I think that's such an important quality when you know you can depend on somebody, that you can just rely that I have your back. I think when we think of family and when we think of close relations, I really think that that's the one quality which can surpass so many other qualities.
it's the strongest one.
Yeah, because you can talk big, imagine a lot, but if somebody doesn't have your back, if they are not really there for you, it's it really doesn't count. It doesn't help.
Yeah, we support each other in everything. When I'm down, he's up. When he's down, I'm there.
Yeah.
And that's also in personal life as well as business, because he joined the business with me about a year and a half ago.
And how is that going? Or now, I mean, if he's joined, do you end up fighting, having a clashes of ideas?
I mean, that's what I brought him in for, right? Because if you bring in someone but you only want things to happen your way, I feel like you're not growing in the right direction. Sometimes tunnel vision hota hai. That's something that you want to avoid, I think, as an entrepreneur, because that freshness and that change in the environment, whether it's the way you're working or the little developments that happen, I feel like they come with different opinions. So initially, when we were discussing, I said, you know what, I am looking to get some help on board. I need another team member, and you're exactly that person for me. Do you want to do this? And he said, Komal, we're just getting married, and in 4 months you're telling me job work chhod do, you come join our business. What will our parents think? And I said, you forget about them. Put that thought on pause. Think about, what do we want from life, right? Do we want to travel together? Do we want to, have endless possibilities? And I love traveling. My family loves traveling. He loves traveling. I said, see, now I have the advantage. We have the freedom to be able to hit pause in a structured manner. ऐसा नहीं है कि वो लगा तो चलो कल निकल जाए. Of course, it's not like that, because in the end we're running a business.
You have your own responsibilities. Yeah.
Exactly. But the kind of life that we do envision us having, even after 5 or 10 years, that's going to happen if we're running this business together. Because I feel like he's literally the best team member I could bring on board, who does not require supervision, who that
who you can trust,
equal interest and
is equally
passion
invested in.
Exactly, because I would say today sometimes I see him working harder than me, and not because he's to prove something, because he genuinely is that involved to grow the business. And to see that, I knew that, like, I just know it was the best decision we could make.
Absolutely.
And it's a taboo, right? I feel so many...
I feel you broke so many myths for many people who just think in that very traditional sense.
Yeah.
I feel they're just not being open to a new way, to break, any barriers that actually hamper progress. When you think boldly, you dare, and you just you just actually, I think it's the most practical way of living when you sensibly kind of just say, yeah, I think this will actually work out great.
Yeah.
And you have the guts to not be caught up in, and these are all the things which exhibit, because in my creativity work,
Yeah.
these are the qualities of the creative person that you really decide for yourself, that authentically, for me, what is going to work here,
Yeah.
which of these ideas, whatever society might be bringing, what of those should I retain and what should I just dismiss, because it's not really helping me or my life progress. I think having that clarity and courage is really the key thing.
Yeah, for sure. And the idea was, let's try. If it doesn't work out, we figure something else out and it's okay, But if we don't try, we're never going to know. And definitely the best decision we could take. The business has grown in many different ways because I don't scale growth with revenue directly. It can be a lot of internal factors. The fact that I stopped having burnouts, I could get the time to relax post 8 p.m. or over the weekend to just pause and, uh, de-stress in whatever way, whether it was cooking, whether it was spending time with family or stepping out or going on a short walk. I missed a lot of those things for 4 years, I think, of the business when I was running it on my own. And that really changed. And to me, that is still growth in the business because it gives me and allows me the time to explore and develop more. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, Komal, now let's come to the main topic of, if somebody is looking at starting a small business, what are the key things involved in order to do that?
The first and foremost, I would say figuring out a product that you're passionate about. And if you're not as passionate about something initially, try to find a problem that exists in the market that can be with a product or a service. And it can be any type of product and service, right? And try to solve that problem by creating a product. So these are the two main ways that you look at it. Because either you know that you're passionate ki mujhe I want to be designing women's clothing, for example. You know you're passionate about it, you already know your product, and you need to have the next steps. But the back end approach is observe in the market, kya nahi hai ya kya problem, or something as simple as going on to reviews page and seeing what is the problem that people are facing, because something as simple as logistical issue or the packaging is broken, you can have a packaging business because you're seeing the problem that real people and real users are putting up, right? So there are many ways that you can try to understand and research a problem that exists in the market, try to solve that, and that's your product.
Yeah, I think thanks for sharing, because you spoke so passionately and you were very clear on what you wanted to do. But I find a lot of people struggle with what they should even do. And so I think that really, as you said, finding a problem in the world that you identify, that you connect with, is probably the best way for somebody who doesn't have that clarity on what they should do.
Yeah.
But having figured out maybe what they want to do, what is practically involved, or rather before that, even what were your fears when you started? Did you have all the clarity when you started the business? What I'm getting at is that how clear does one have to be before they start the business, or what were the first few main steps that you took when you started?
I think in terms of having clarity, you can't know it all while you're starting a business, right? Also because it's going to evolve with each year and with the growth or with your clients that are, maybe wanting something, a specific thing from your business. So I feel initially what you need to have clarity with is, number one, the product, which we already spoke about. Number two, who's going to be your target market? Is it going to be children? Is it going to be elders? Is it going to be only women? Once you figure that out, how you're going to run the business and where. Is it going to be online? Is it going to be offline? These are a few things you need to understand, simply because will it need any kind of funding? If it does, how much? Do you already have it? Are you going to get a loan, or are you going to get any kind of a different investment in? Because I feel like without that kind of backing, and this can be any scale, right? Whether you're starting from home, or whether you're starting a full-fledged factory or a unit, this can be very personalized to the kind of brand that you're, or business that you're starting. So having that as clarity first and foremost is very important, because if you don't have that set, how are you even going to take the first step?
Yeah.
Then comes understanding the name for your brand. I know I'm going at a technical level, but this is so important in today's age. The name for your brand or your business, because in the past 5 to 6 years, which is post COVID, there's been a boom of entrepreneurship and a splurge of new businesses that are rising, which is incredible, I would say, because people have really found monetization in their passion, which I love. That's my client, that's me, I would say. So now that there are so many names that are taken up, and there's so many businesses that exist just in India, I won't even talk about outside of India. I feel like picking the name that is unique.
Right name, yeah.
Exactly. And is not trademark, because you don't want to be in violation of trademarks, right? Paperwork, of course, very important when you're starting the business. You need to get.
So you have to have, or by paperwork. What are the few main things that in paperwork?
By paperwork, I would say number one, registering your business.
Registering your name, the name of the business.
Your name and the fact that you're establishing the business, because on the basis of that is where you're going to know how much tax you're going to pay, whether you need to be GST certified, and of course those are at a technical level. There are a lot of different rules set by the government for obtaining your GST certification. This is basically all like identification papers for your business. But
Is there also are there any provisions that the government makes for women entrepreneurs?
They do.
Is there something like that also which can be availed of?
There definitely are a lot of them. I could not avail them initially when I registered my businesses, but there are a lot of provisions. There's also a lot of provisions if you're doing exports or you're selling internationally, because the government is always wanting for foreign income to come into India. So I think that registering your business and having documents for your business is extremely important, and that is a step that a lot of new entrepreneurs miss. So that would be your first step, when all of the other criteria is set. Ki ye naam hai, this is going to be the product, this is what I'm going to do. Because while registering the business as well, you need to have the category of product or the category of business that you're going to do. Is it going to be manufacturing? Is it only going to be advertising? So a lot of products you see, it'll say manufactured by and marketed by, right? So if you're going to manufacture it and make it on your own, then you also need to register it as a manufacturing business. So I think these few set of paperworks are also extremely important, which can easily get missed. And of course, picking a name that you're not going to be in violation of trademark, because you don't want to get into that later in terms of again rebranding, again changing, and I've seen this happen a lot lately.
So Komal, how did you hit on Co Necessities?
I wanted my name to be a little part of the brand that I was starting, hence Co. And for Necessity, initially, like I said, this stamp making opportunity came to me as a surprise. I recognized it, I clocked on it, but I had no idea how, what scope I would be, making the stamps. Will there be other products that entrepreneurs and brands could use? So I did not want the name to be restricted to that one niche as a stamp making brand, which is why I said necessity, because I wanted to make products that are necessary or can be used every day by my audience, which is why I came by Co-Necessity.
So when we are talking about a small scale business, which your business is, so how small is your team? How many people work?
So there is Nikhil, who is also my husband, and my very dear Vaishnavi, the studio assistant. It's just the three of us managing the business. by ourselves.
Just 3 people
Just
in the
3.
business?
And that too, Nikhil is a new introduction in the last 1.5 years.
So which means before that it was you and your one assistant.
Yes. For the first 2 years, it was just me. Then Vaishnavi came in, and now it's Nikhil as well.
My God. And were you doing everything, like making the stamps, the packaging, the detailing, and then whatever posts you would make to market it?
Yeah.
Everything was just done by you?
All on my
You
own.
don't have a social media manager?
Absolutely
or somebody
not.
who makes your posts?
You're
Nothing.
looking at her.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we do everything in-house, including accounting work. And so yeah, from the creative side to the admin side to sales, customer service, packing every order, quality check, making every order, speaking to, and the fact that we're a custom product business, there's a lot of potential customers or new customers who are curious about how they can use the stamps and how it could fit into their business, because there's a big chunk of the work that we do that is just consulting each client on what design would work on a stamp, what will not, whether the size is a fit or not, whether it would work on their packaging, or if there are any changes involved.
Komal, what is the process if somebody wants to get a stamp made? Generally, what is the process from, say, just getting in touch with you that, hey, I'd like a stamp, till they actually get that stamp?
So there are 2 ways to do it. One, I've automated everything on my website as well. When one has clarity, they know exactly what they want, they know the surface they're stamping it on, you can get onto my online store, pick the stamp type that you want, the size of the stamp that you want, upload your logo file or any artwork file, add it to cart, complete payment. The second way is that you can reach us offline on WhatsApp, or get on a call with us, get some consultation in terms of if this product is right for you and how to go about the process. Once we finish the consultation is when we'll guide you with a payment link. Then we make the stamp.
So you mean you even help people figure out a product thing, that will this be good or how?
Yeah, by product I mean whether this particular artwork on the stamp can work on their product and packaging. Because eventually the idea of stamp making with Co-Necessity is so that a lot of artists, entrepreneurs and brands can leave their mark on their product and packaging, right? And at small scale as well.
So it's not only the packaging, but on the product
on
itself.
the product as well, because we make stamps that work on artisanal cold process soaps, on different types of ceramics and pottery, where you can really leave an embossing impression into the surface. It's not just
it's
over
lovely,
the surface.
Actually, it just feels so nice. From the product itself, it gets a personalized thing.
Exactly. And a person is putting in that effort to leave that mark for their client and for that audience or the receiver. So there's a complete, it's kind of your soul. You're imbibing your soul into your particular product.
Totally. Yeah. So do you mainly, what's your clientele base? Is it mainly in India, in a particular region, or at this point?
I have at this point learned new cities and towns that exist in India. To the farthest of northeast and farthest of absolute north, we have made stamps and sold stamps repeatedly.
Wow.
It's incredible the number of people that are actually, taking up entrepreneurship and forming their own brand, and of course reaching out to us. But it's we sell all over India. We're also selling internationally since the last 2 years, and I would say the customer base internationally is also very strong. So yeah, we ship globally at the moment.
You ship globally too.
Yes, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And the process would mainly involve, once everything is set from between the client and our consultation, in terms of this is the product they require, this is the design that we need to make. we get into rolling with production. So digital designs get drafted, then we get into the main production part, which I am completely
So
a part of.
the design, are you the main design person, that you pull up the designs and what it should be, you create the options for the clients?
I wish I was a part of that process, but considering that it's just the three of us completely producing a custom item from scratch, I can no longer have the bandwidth or capacity to, design from scratch. I know in the future maybe I want to have a small design team as a part of the business where we can take up designing from scratch for the client, but at the moment we request them to send in their artwork,
their designs,
yeah,
whatever they like, and then you modify and work on it
as per the requirement, that is, because a lot of clients are existing brands, right? So they already have their branding identity, their logos, their taglines, everything is quite set. So how we are involved is what will work on the type of stamp that they're using.
Got it. Yes. Absolutely. And when you come to, you're like alone, just alone in the sense, just you, Nikhil, and your
Vaishnavi,
who, when she's there, she's there. So how grueling is this? I mean, it's because you're in charge with everything. And I'm curious that, see, God forbid, if something doesn't go as planned, how do you handle this? Because I feel that really mental health and peace, when there's nobody to really share, you can't really delegate. You're just taking on everything yourself. How does this impact you?
Initially, it was more difficult, I would say, because this is also before Vaishnavi and Nikhil came into the picture in the team, right?
I can only imagine all alone if you were doing everything.
Yeah, it was, honestly, there's, pros and cons to every situation. The pros were that I got to learn all of these different skills, something as simple as, packing the order correctly, generating a label, which shipping partner to use, to as complex as, establishing and creating a full-fledged online platform where your audience can make a purchase. I've done it all. How to do the taxes, how to do the invoicing, there's so many factors involved in running a business that I got to learn them all. And maybe I've mastered some, maybe I have not, but that learning was incredible. So that would be the pros. The cons were really tough because, when I felt sick or when I am absolutely exhausted, and sometimes there's a switch in your brain that just it goes off, and you realize that I feel lost and that I don't know what to do next. That is the toughest obstacle to overcome, because you're the only one who can be the problem solver in that moment. And I feel like in those moments, I told myself to just take the day off, continue the next day. Because I also realized and I observed that when I continued to work and when it did not come to me naturally, I would end up making mistakes, which is a reality, right? I mean, because you're not fully focused. You're already, that you're lost and you're forcing that particular task.
You spoil that further.
Exactly. And then in the future, after a few days, you're going to have to also solve that particular mistake.
Problem,
So something as simple as, packing an ink pad and a refill bottle with the stamp. But forgetting that वो refill bottle डालना था, एक नहीं दो. Then problem solving is where you put in more money, one more box goes in, because eventually the client has to receive all the items, right? So you're shipping an entire box again. So these are the little mistakes where you can solve it, but should you really have to solve it in that manner, or just take a breath, pause, regroup, and start again after a few hours, after a day, whatever your body. So I feel like listening to my body, listening to my mind is something that took time, but that is what eventually helped. That because even today, every single day, every entrepreneur at some point is going to feel like they're a little bit lost and they're a little bit overwhelmed. So I feel at that point, just do what makes your soul happy, rest, and restart.
Now, in this, on this journey, there's at times major failures that happen, or at some point some things go in a way where you feel, I don't know if I can do this, I don't know if it's worth it. And on at that point, how do you still gather yourself up and say that that no, this will pass? Because I think that that's the hardest thing. When you're in it yourself, that if it's a job, you can just say, I'll just get out. You can quit. But when it's your own baby, you can't abandon the baby.
Not at all.
So how do you, in times like that, how do you navigate yourself, the situation?
I feel like expressing and talking about those feelings with your partner, your family, your team especially, is very important, because number one, you're getting it out there, right? Like you're not keeping it inside, because that piles up and that leads to different kinds of frustrations, or also overthinking. It's a problem. Overthinking is an issue I constantly deal with as well, because when you're running your own thing and you are accepting someone's hard-earned money to provide a product or service, you want them to receive the best. And if you're not able to give your best at that point, you also feel like, hey, they don't deserve this. They need my 200%. For me, that overwhelmed feeling can occur in 1 to 2 months. It really depends on the kind of strain and stress I'm in at the moment, especially with season time, with Diwali coming in. Those are the most stressful periods. There are a few ways that I deal with it. Like I mentioned, I love traveling, right? So I know that in a year, if I haven't spent time with my family, if I've not taken a short trip, long trip, whatever it may be, I feel more overwhelmed. Because like you said, there's a creativity block that also that does come in.
Yeah.
It's very real for each person.
Yeah.
So number one, meeting people, exploring new places. I'm a big foodie, so discovering new foods. This joy.
What are your favorite types of foods to eat?
Ooh, that's a really tough one.
I know. But
anything anything that is homemade, not just my house, but my friends' houses also.
So you like homemade? You prefer homemade over restaurant food?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because there's different, I've heard ki the masale jo order mein dalenge, the taste will be different. So I feel like that is very true. And I enjoy food in any manner. And I love Nimbu pani. Nimbu pani and Neera are my two things jo din mein I always have. There's going to be a jar of Nimbu pani
the
at
whole
all
day you
times.
drink, because this brings me to, I was going to ask that, are there any rituals or what are there practices? Is there something that you follow, things you do to take care of yourself, to nurture yourself, maybe your creativity as well?
Yes, absolutely. There are, I think, 3 things that I would like to talk about. Number one is eating. I feel like it's an emotion for me. It brings me a lot of...
But you don't seem to put on weight.
Oh, I do. You should see me when I started the business. I will show you pictures.
Really?
Yes.
You mean you were heavier?
No, I was very skinny. I was very skinny, and I would
So
constantly...
when was that? When did that become a problem?
In college. Because I was...
It's not skinny?
I was very skinny, and I would not say it's a problem, because I'm still getting happiness from the food. As long as I'm happy and healthy, it's all good, But
so your problem is like being underweight.
I used to be.
Okay.
I used to be. And growing up also, a lot of family friends would say, oh, you're too skinny, you need to eat more, you're too skinny. So much so that, and my friends would laugh about this when they see this, because, in birthday parties when I used to go to friends' places, I used to take packed जो भी खाना था मेरा मैं घर ले जाती थी, because I couldn't finish what was served to me as a child also. So that's how much I could eat.
Small appetite.
Like a sparrow. I used to eat like a sparrow at that point. And that completely changed in college, because I was let out in this world of amazing food everywhere. And I have enjoyed. I have no regrets. So yeah, food for me is it gives me a lot of happiness. I would say घर का खाना also.
Okay.
Always first and foremost, and especially discovering new foods. I would say when I travel with my family.
Yeah. But when you travel, where do you get घर का खाना at different places?
Nahi,
but different flavors,
yeah, different foods,
which
different
are unique
cuisines,
to
that particular
place.
region. Yeah. So of course, घर का खाना is not everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I really find inspiration in different flavors and different foods. Meeting new people. I'm somebody who can, converse with anyone and everyone.
So you're a people's person.
Yes.
You like meeting and communicating.
Yeah. I'm very social, and Nikhil is the absolute opposite with new people, I would say. So I can become friends with anyone. You give me half an hour and I will still be talking to that person 10 years later. That I would say that it brings me a lot of joy because, you get a lot of different perspective from someone else's story. When you talk to them about their life experiences, their struggles, their joys, their successes, there's so much of inspiration that I feel that is enough for me to overcome my obstacles also, because again there's learning in conversation. Yes. There's learning in observation.
Learning, yeah.
Right? So when I'm really overwhelmed, when I feel like, okay, I cannot do this, I think about all the people I've had a conversation with who've probably had it harder than me. Why cannot I do this then? Right? And if we have put in so much of heart and soul into forming something and we've only received love from all of our audience, like you said, how did I manage work if I felt sick, or because I did not have a team in place to solve it? It's because I have wonderful clients that understand at a human level ki this happens, it's okay.
I think you're a really good communicator, that you effectively communicate. I feel so many misunderstandings can be nipped in the bud with good communication. Yeah. So, but then the issue is that it's a two-way street.
For sure.
So that's also one thing that...
but you have to do your part.
You have to do your part.
As long as you've done your part, the rest is okay. Yes. Right? You should not be falling short of your duties or your responsibilities, be it as a friend, be it as a partner, be it as an entrepreneur,
Your clients, your people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I've been very, very lucky with the clients that I also meet, and I had the love I have received from them, essentially because we're all in the same boat, right? Like I'm also catering to other entrepreneurs and they face the same issues that I do, be it logistics, be it, social media, maybe not getting enough reach, or a certain situation where I'm not able to fix that particular product or any kind of mishap that happens through the operation of your business. They all understand these problems. So I feel like it's a big boon to have a client that essentially also has the same tasks as you in a way. Yes. Of course, the type of task may be different, but वही है, pack करना है, customer service है, marketing है, logistics. We all the most and biggest problems we face is logistics, I would say. So I feel like because my client understands this, it helps me, and that's how I know that I can sustain as long as I have given them a call, or even if I'm not available for a phone call, I've sent them a small voice note with honesty. See, this has happened, because it can happen that, considering it's a custom business again, I am the one who's taking care of production. In stamp making, I'll give you an example. When you have a certain logo or a name, you have to mirror image it. You have to flip it. Only then when you stamp it is when it is going to
then the proper
correct आएगा, right? A lot of times ऐसे हुआ है, and हो सकता है अभी भी कल हुआ था, that I forgot to flip it. Why? Because there was a lot happening, and this happens maybe 1 in 1,000 stamps, but it's the reality of it. And I called my client. She sent me a message, Komal, this has happened. And I said, oh my God, how did this happen? Because it's almost like muscle memory for me. कि वो turn करना है, वो when you're driving वो एक turn लेना है, right? So but this is the reality of it. My approach to solve a problem always is, how do I fix it? Not have excuses or
See, that's the thing. Yeah, people come up with so many multiple excuses.
Yeah.
I
There
think,
doesn't need to be a story for
there
it.
doesn't. In fact, I feel that honesty, that, oh, I erred, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
It creates a human connection,
Yeah.
that I can trust this person, because this person is not just giving excuses. They're actually saying that, look, sorry, I made a mistake. We all have that humanity, that when we see that honesty in someone, we respond. We feel, no, it's okay. You just can, because that means that the person is going to take responsibility.
Yes. And
that
they
means
care about
that they
it.
care about it.
Yeah.
I think that these are things really which people should know and
Absolutely
should keep
focus
in
on.
mind. It's really important.
Yeah, I feel this is one advice that I would like to give budding entrepreneurs, that have a complete, honest and transparent way of how you work, because eventually somebody that is coming to you for your product, is purchasing from you, all they want to know is that their order and their product is being taken care of. It's not in the air, it's not delayed for no reason, because delays are, again, reality. It can happen. So the minute you let them know that, okay, this has happened, but I'm going to fix it for you, give me 2 days and you will have the right product and it's my responsibility. That's it. That's all they want to hear, that somebody is taking the responsibility. And they absolutely understand, and they also then chip in that, hey, do you want me to pay for shipping? Is there any cost that I can cover? Because I don't maybe want you to bear it all. So I feel like that kindness, the minute the kindness factor comes in, the honest factor comes in, you have that customer for life.
Absolutely.
Because you know that, for me, if somebody is investing in me, I'm going to invest back in them. That is one principle that Papa has taught me. I will never let go of, because that is the most important part of business. How it's not about retaining a customer. It's about letting them know that, I'm here for you. I know that you're going to come back to me tomorrow. I'm going to be here for you. Right? So,
no, this honesty is something which just communicates itself. You don't need to say.
Yeah.
People sense it. We get the vibes. And I think that's what everybody craves for.
Yeah.
That I want this person I can trust.
It's something we really focus on. In fact, Nikhil coming into the business, being a very important team member, he completely leads communications and sales. And he's a morning person. He's a morning person.
And you're a night person?
No, I like my sleep. So I like my 8 hours, I would say. I'm a day person.
So he gets up early and then and how does this work out?
We, I think, automatically work in shifts, I would say, because by the time I'm up at 7:30, he's already been working for 3 hours, and he likes that peace, quiet time
where
to
he's
work
alone in his thing.
Exactly. So he wakes up by 4:30.
But coming back to the Nimbu Pani, is that you said you like the entire day you drink Nimbu Pani?
Yeah, 4 glasses to hona hi chahiye.
Really?
Yeah, I love citrus fruits also.
So much of Nimbu Pani is. Do you add anything more sugar to your Nimbu Pani?
Thoda sa. I'm a Gujarati, so thoda the sweetness has to be there. Yeah, absolutely.
And like proper lemonade.
हाँ, proper lemonade. घर का नींबू पानी जैसे होता है, same वैसा. There's no diet या no sugar, nothing like that. Normal नींबू पानी. And there's a lot of, my parents have a beautiful garden. So we have a lot of fruits growing all the time. So jab Nimbu Pani pauses when our coconut trees have given fruit, there's some 400 coconuts. Every day Papa will slice the coconut. He becomes
you proper get coconut water and you get fresh coconut.
At home. You must come. You must join us. We have friends that come in from Bombay and all. For the weekend, they will stay. They'll have a Nariyal Pani party morning, evening, through the weekend. And then they go back. And this is a ritual that they have. And I love it. So these are the little things that teach you that this is joy. This is real joy.
Yes.
Papa, subah, he'll wake up. He transforms into a nariyal pani wala. He will cut everything with malai, I must add. He will
But
cut it into
who
half.
climbs up to brings those coconuts down?
We have somebody
Thank
who
goodness that there is somebody.
But-
I said
but
that
I
this
would-
family is too self-sufficient. Now,
I would not
if they
doubt,
start
though.
climbing up on the trees also to bring the coconuts down, that would...
Dad has tried that initially, and we have said now you need to hit pause on that. So yeah, when there's nariyal pani, then there's no nimbu pani. Then he'll cut more nariyals and keep a jar of nariyal pani. Another ritual of mine is meeting a few fellow female entrepreneurs. We meet monthly, and the clients who have turned into friends. And we really, discuss new ideas, our frustrations, or, if someone's dealing with a certain problem and how we could kind of, solve that. And that has been extremely helpful because this young age of young entrepreneurship in a very social and tech world, it's a great support system to have because they're the ones who also realize and face similar problems as you do. So, that monthly meet, I don't do kitty parties. I do these meets with my entrepreneur friends because it's fresh perspective again, but you realize that, you're not alone in this. There are other people and your peers who are facing similar obstacles, and to kind of boost each other and, remotivate each other to kind of, to how to navigate this world of entrepreneurship and, really come out, I would not say only successful, but also really happy with the process of it.
Yeah, I think that this is networking in a very different way.
Yes.
Networking for your own kind of enrichment as well, and certainly to spread the word, to have people to communicate with.
Yeah. So it's different form of friendship, but very important in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Komal, as a parting shot with this, what would you think would be the best piece of advice you can give to somebody who is wanting to start a business, but somehow doesn't have the courage, is on the fence that should I do it, should I not? What could be the best piece of advice?
The best piece of advice, which
And
is
in small scale.
in
if
small
it's
scale,
yeah.
I will be focused on the small scale because it's the scale that I am currently in as well, and it's an advice that has worked for me very strongly. It's that you have to define what success means to you. Success is not based on the revenue that you make or how large your team is or the kind of product you want to sell. Success can also come in the form of whether you're a self-sustained business, whether are you happy doing what you're doing, are you able to take advantage of the freedom to form a life of yourself, of your own, while you run this particular business. Success can come in many ways, but you are the only one who can define it for yourself. So don't be afraid of starting small, because small can also be extremely impactful. And my journey is a really good example for that, because we're a team of 3. We're making a very simple product, but it's solving also a simple problem for the masses. So yeah, small is extremely impactful, and I think there's strength in small. So if you really think that you're passionate about something or you want to start something for yourself, as a brand, as an artist, please go for it, because there's nothing more rewarding than this.
Thank you so much, Komal, for this lovely conversation, which will be a source of encouragement to many. And also, thank you so much for this beautiful gift. I have to say, it's the first personalized gift we've received on the Creativity Dialogues, and it's a CD stamp, and I'm so looking forward to using it and sharing, and thank you so much.
It's my absolute pleasure.
It's beautiful and precious.
I'm really happy you liked it. I hope I get to see it on many of
you will see it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me here. This conversation was very insightful. I'm really grateful that this is my first video podcast, and I'm so happy it's with you. And I hope a lot of our viewers and new budding entrepreneurs really have that motivation to really just dive in.
They will, thanks to you. Thank you, Komal.
Thank you so much.